What is happening, everybody? You're very welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for the match reaction as Leeds United got absolutely walloped 5-0 by Arsenal down in the Emirates Stadium, which has brought us all back down to reality and the reality of the Premier League. It's got to be interesting, guys. This one hurts, it stings. We're not used to getting these over the last 2 years under Daniel Farke, so get your thoughts in. We'll run through it, and then hopefully we'll try and finish on a little bit of a positive note. Delighted to say, joined by the brother Dylan as always, and then our Welsh friend Jam to break it all down, and we'll go through it and let's try and find a couple of silver linings because that one is definitely gonna hurt. Jam, I'm gonna come across to you. Give us a summary. How did you see that? What do we need to do better?
I think it's just the lack of effort. It's the way we lost. I think that's the thing that hurts the most. Like, I don't think any of us really were thinking that we was going to win today. Let's be honest. Maybe our heart ruled over our heads a little bit, and Monday night we kind of just got a bit carried away, which I did myself. I thought maybe we could get a point today, but it wasn't to be. And I think it's more of just a humbling game today to sort of be like, right, hang on a minute, back in your lane, sort of thing, because it was that type of game. And just disappointing. No one likes to lose. I certainly don't, and I think it's just if they go out there fighting and playing for the cause, then you can kind of accept it at the end of the day. But yeah, just deflated, really, quite disappointing. But what I will say, lads, is our season won't be defined on that one result. There's plenty of other opportunities. There's 36 games left to go. I have got a question actually for both of you.
Yeah, crack on.
If you were Daniel Farke at halftime, would you have changed anything, or would you have just kept the same side again? Or I don't know. We'll go to you, Daz, first, and then Dillo, you can answer after. What do you think?
I think you have to, Jam. Look, we spoke a little bit about it, but it's just on off air just before we came on, and I think when they get the second goal, I think that's your time to change it. Then if you're going in at 1-0, it's not too bad. You can make a couple of tweaks then. But I think 2-0 down, then you're chasing the game away to Arsenal, and then to come back out with the same thing, to me, was a little bit naive from Daniel Farke. And I think it's the only way to describe this game today was Leeds were very, very naive. He spoke about it in his post-match that Leeds weren't going to be naive, and we were. We really were. We're trying to play out from the back against a Premier League opposition team with a goalkeeper who just cannot do it. He just can't do it. So for me, it just felt like a little bit mad, and we kept doing the same thing over and over again. And Bielsa once said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. And that's what it was. I knew we were going to get caught. And Gruev, I like Gruev, but he's going to get a little bit of slack on it. Obviously, he's at fault for the second goal. But you look at all the other goals as well. Like right across the pitch, I thought we were poor today. But I think mainly, for me, the fault today has to fall with Daniel Farke. I thought the team selection was poor. I got it bang on. I think we all knew it was going to be that. But it was a game for me that was crying out for a centre forward that was going to be able to hold the ball up. He should have started with Nemecha. And look, everyone's going to say hindsight is a great thing. But when you look at Pirro, we've seen Pirro over the last 2 years for Leeds United. He's just not that type of player. He's that player, if you're chasing the game, you need a goal, you'll bring him on. But in a away game like that, yeah, I just thought we were very open, very naive from Leeds United. And look, it's what it says in the title. It's a massive reality check now.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Bill?
I think especially going back to your question, half-time, stroke, Bial, I was crying out for Bial to come on and give him a dig out. I think we went and spent all this money on centre halves. We're not going to rotate, as Darren said, they're trailing again.
You might see now. I'll probably disagree with you there a little bit because, like, obviously, look, Stroke was brilliant against Everton. There was no way he was going to drop him. There was no way. But
like I was saying, by half time though, Darren, for 2-0 down, willingly knowing that right, well, 2 going in and these are going to want more. They could have tweaked it a little bit more for me. I'm not going to lie. I love Stroke, as you can see. I have the jersey up. I love him. I think he's phenomenal. Going back to Everton, 1 or 2 passes. Stroke's the type of player. He's great when we're on the attack or we're on the upper hand, as you'd say. As opposed when we are under pressure, he just seems it's like a panic that kicks in with him. But I'm deflated, to be honest with you.
I can tell.
I really am deflated. I think we'll start from the back with Perry. I don't even know what to say, lads. With a goalkeeper like at that type of standard, we've seen it. The first, you could say, 20 minutes into the game, I see Arsenal were constantly trying to apply the pressure. I thought defensively we were actually quite good. We were, not giving them much to work with. But then the goal goes in, from a set piece, which is fair enough. You put your hands up and go, right, lads, you didn't do good defending from the set piece. But then the one with Saka, it was like, I watched it in slow motion, it was like his brain didn't register to get his hands up in time. I don't know.
Smashed that.
Especially from that angle. Like, look, I'm not blaming him for that. What I'm saying is, I just think he should do a little bit better. Moving up the field, yeah, I thought Tanaka wasn't phenomenal today. Definitely didn't have his best game. Stack, definitely not his greatest game. Nanto was just smothered every time we got the ball. Like, we didn't get the ball, lads. Let's be honest with you. Anytime we did get it, you know, there was silly passes, especially from Perry going back, you know, trying to get it up the pitch, or I was getting bloomed up the pitch, or I was getting kicked out of play. And it's just, as Darren said there, what Fark said in his press conference, try not to be naive. We were very naive. And I've seen loads of comments on X, Facebook, you name it. And to be honest, I agree with them. That was men against boys. That's what that was. That sums that all up. And very poor, but on the positive note from Jam, going back to what you said, it doesn't define our season. I get that 110%. It doesn't. And the likes of Burnley, Sunderland, West Ham, like all the teams that are kind of, you know, struggling thereabouts, they will have to go up against Arsenal. Arsenal are a completely different league, and it shows the difference between a bottom half and the top half teams. It's simple as that.
I think, just jumping in here, lads, I think obviously a big thing as well is, like, you see an Odegaard go off, you're thinking, oh, great, we're going to have a bit of a respite now. And then you bring on, you know, and Saka, and you bring on in one way, I can't say his name, one way, is it? The youngster?
Yeah.
And you bring in that Diamond as well. He's young, but he looks a class above as well. And you're just thinking, you know, Trossard comes on, and it's just a bit. Yeah. That's the level we're up against.
I think, Jam, look, and I think I can understand where you're coming from. Is like, really, like, in our heads, we didn't expect anything from the game today, but it was just the setup for me. The game plan was just completely wrong. Like, if we,
the game plan,
you know, we didn't play to our strengths, like, whatsoever. Like, when obviously you go back to the first goal with Timber, is they pulled it up on screen just before the corner came in. I'll take these goggles off before I start reading comments. They put it up on screen just before it came in. That Arsenal are the best over the last 2 seasons. I'm scoring from set pieces, and we know Leeds' frailties from scoring set pieces. So Fark should have knew that. They treat him at the back post completely unmarked. This zone of mark, and we're allowed to run right across our box. And you can see Stroke doesn't. It's not solely to blame it. It's the setup. This should have been done during the week. The ball comes into the box. Stroke doesn't know whether to look at the ball, look at the man. He doesn't know where his man in. That's all marking is very, very hard to defend from. And look at, he gets a clean header and puts the ball in the back of the net. And it's annoying, because that's what I kind of said at the start, is that, you know, obviously don't concede early and don't concede from set pieces. Be rock solid, be strong. We've brought in all these 6 foot plus lads to try and be better at set pieces, and we looked frail today. The second goal as well, Dylan said it as well. I thought it was poor, really poor from Lucas Perry. He just let him have a crack. And I know it's one of them was at an awkward height, but like, expect it, and he just didn't, and he smashed the ball into the net. And then look at it's Gruev was a culprit as well, obviously giving the ball away. But it just felt like we didn't help ourselves today, lads. Like, realistically, none of us expected to get at nail the game today, but we just didn't. We didn't help ourselves at all. And I think that's what the most annoying thing is. Well, Fark got the setup wrong, and he definitely got the game plan wrong. And it hurts, lads. It hurts to say, but we got everything we deserved today. We deserve that.
110%.
Oh, go on, Del. You go.
I was just saying, like, the only positive that I'm going to take from the game is, you know, like, the new signing and Noah Okafor coming on. To be fair, you know, the corner that Leeds put in was Stroke and was saved from Raya, which was a great save. Like, in the sense of, like, I know it was kind of more or less straight down the middle, but I mean, if that had went in, and I know I'm saying ifs, buts, and maybes, but it could have been a different game. But that was the only kind of positive that me personally I can see of us going forward, you know, to more or less change the game. As I said, within the first 20 minutes, yeah, Arsenal were coming, but we were defending really well. Typical. A set piece that we know that Arsenal are the best, as Darren said, in the last 2 seasons. It goes in and unmarked. Like, and it's not rocket science, lads. Regardless if they all want to stand outside the box and run in, mark the man. Yeah. Stop standing in the box. Mark your man. Like, why are you standing there for with your hands down beside your side?
For me, when you watch it back with Strike, he's unsure. He's half thinking about where his man is, and he's half thinking about the ball rather than just going and winning the ball. The man doesn't get the ball, he can't score. It's go and win the ball. Don't care about your man. And you can see he's in 2 minds. And I watched the back again at halftime. You could see he was in 2 minds. Where's my man and where's the ball? And you just can't have that uncertainty in the Premier League. In the Championship, you get away with it. You get away with it all the time. In the Premier League, absolutely not. And look, it's one of them where he's just going to have to learn from it. Us as a team are going to have to learn from it, especially that zone marking as well, because in the Premier League, you can't be giving away set piece goals, lads. Can you put yourselves on the back foot like that? Let's put these goggles on, lads.
You just get punished straight away for those, for the, just little errors, little things of not picking your man up, and you'll just get punished in this league. They won't miss it. 9 times out of 10, they put it back of the net. But
100%, John. Agree with you, Woody. Let's smash through some of the comments, lads, and we get a bit of a feel for what's going on. So Gary Two-Wheel says, goes to show you the leap from the championship. It does, mate. As I said, it's a reality check, isn't it? Massively for a lot of these players. Question 3: why are we passing the ball around at the back and midfield to get found out exactly? I just felt like we held on to it.
It was the press, like even just going back to that. Sorry, it was their press that just completely shut us down. When we did get our foot on the ball from, like, even Tanaka at one stage, it was just pure panic stations. And then it was knocked back to Perry, blooming up the pitch. Like, I hear Gary Neville, and I know, look, but he was right to a certain degree. Once, twice, 3 times, we're knocking it back to the keeper, and we're playing very, very sketchy football.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that it was only 5 now, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Carl says here, we got well bet today by a much stronger team, MOT. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Bogle was the best player for us. Top Bogle, Bogle tried, wasn't he? He really, really did try. The best of a bad bunch, 100%. Danny Tuxley says, smash it, like and subscribe. Please do that, guys. That would be fantastic. Mecha needs to start ahead of Pirro and Tanaka. Looks so scared out there. Yeah, I think Mecha definitely had to start today. 100%. He definitely did. And I think we'll probably see the next away game Mecha coming in, because we did look a little bit, small bit better when Mecha came on. Time for be all for me in place of Stroke. Sorry, Stroke, but you were poor today. Yeah, and I think we might see a change. Fark, we've known, lads, for as long as he's been the manager at Leeds United, he very rarely changes a winning team, lads, doesn't he? Barring injuries, barring suspensions, possibly league games or cup games, but he very rarely changes a winning team, doesn't he? So obviously we knew today, obviously, what Ampadu, and we all knew it was going to be Gruev coming in. And Philip says disappointing. Absolutely. Wow, Healy, I thought Tanaka was poor today, lads. I was very, very disappointed in Tanaka. Can we get Madison goal again? No, it would have been worse. We were going back down with that. I don't know, Dave. It's going to be heated at the minute, lads, isn't it? Of course, after getting slapped at 5-0. We're all going to be getting the texts from our mates. We're all going to be getting the stick online, and we're just going to have to take it on the chin as we do as Leeds fans. But I wouldn't say going down yet. I think it's a reality check, and I hope it's a lesson that we can learn from, lads, and I'm sure you are the same as well. Is that right? What do we do wrong, and learn from it the next time? Because we can't play the way we did away from home in the championship, expecting always to be the team to go and win games. Of course, we want to do that, but you're playing Premier League opposition. You know what I mean? You have to be more pragmatic than that. Question 4 says, Paul, why was Pirro on the pitch for so long? He was, look, Jam, look, I put it over to you as well. It was just, it seemed like it just lasted a little bit too long with Pirro, didn't it? It was just like, Daniel, this experiment isn't working. And, we've previously had a manager in Bielsa. We've seen him with Calvin Phillips, and something isn't working, and it's obvious it's not working. Is change it. Don't wait. Don't wait to see it develop. Don't wait to get it worse. Just change it there and then. If you see it's not working, just change it now.
And do you know what it is as well? It's like Pirro. It's not his fault. It's just not a way. He's not built like that. He's not built to hold the ball up. And I like Pirro. I think he's a good player. But there's certain games and certain situations that he needs to change it, Farker. And this isn't me saying Farker out or anything like that at all. But this is the games that he needs to earn his coin, because we can't go to Man City like we did tonight, because I think Man City would even turn it. I think Man City would do double figures on us, and that's not being over the top.
Ruthless.
They're very ruthless, and Pep would we would get Pep off the park. But listen, the match, these are the games he needs to come in. And I think a big highlight for me, lads, and it's important now that we actually get some business done now in the last 10, 11 days, because moving forward, we look toughless. And I love Dan James, and I love the players that we've got, but even against Everton, if we look back on it, put perspective on it, we didn't really we had a clinical finisher in there. So for me personally, I would like to see 1 or 2 more on the wings, especially and have someone in there just to unpick a defence, because we haven't got that creative spark in there. So that's what I would say for me there. But I actually had another question. Is I've personally, for me, lads, I would have started with Longstaff. Again, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Yeah. But do you agree with that, or do you think?
100%.
We looked very leggy in midfield, lads, didn't we? I think Stack, Gruev, and Tanaka were all very similar today. We'd all, much the same. And in the midfield three, you can't have that. You can't have that. And yeah, look, as I said, lads, hindsight is going to be a good thing. Maybe if you have Longstaff in there, Premier League experience, has the legs as well, might have worked a little bit better. And then like that Metcha up front as well, to kind of hold the ball up and bring it into play. We know Pirro can't do that. I just thought it was poor. Thought it was a poor team selection from Dino Fark and more so the game plan. Like you put players out on the pitch, the game plan that we tried to execute, playing the ball back out from the back against Arsenal, for me was just crazy. Absolutely crazy. You're shooting yourself in the foot there. And maybe try for the first 10 minutes, and see how you get on. And then, if you can see the first 10 minutes that we're putting ourselves under pressure, every time Perry got the ball here, he was like a scared little kid, you know what I mean? Like he was after being thrown a grenade. He didn't know what to do with it, kind of, scared us all and scared the defence and really kind of put us on the back foot, and Arsenal could sense that. So it's changed it then. Fark should be, right, change it up, go a little bit more long, play your first 1-2 passes and clip one down the line and try and get onto it, but still trying to play off the back with their press. Arsenal's press today for me, lads, was
phenomenal.
Top.
Yeah. Declan Rice for me.
They knew we were going to play off the back, and they were top notch in the pressing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Fark out. I wouldn't say that yet, buddy. I wouldn't say that yet. Look, he needs time, and he still needs to sign. And we've heard that need another full back, and he still wants attacking threats. We have to give him the tools and give him time. It's early days, yeah. Danny says my starting 11 against Wednesday in the cup would be Darlow, Byron, Borneo, Bial, Gabi, Gruev, Tanaka, Longstaff, Okafor. Yeah, I don't even care about the couple lads, to be honest with you, on Tuesday night. Like, I don't even care. And I just have a horrible feeling about that with everything that they're going through, going to Hills where the place is falling down. It's got Leeds losing 1-0 all over it. Yeah. Fark didn't have a clue, says Mr. Patriot. Yeah, I think we agree with that today. I think, he was out of his depth today, 100%. Get rid of Strout too. Nah. Get rid of him, yeah. Let's see, we got anything else? Pew selections from Farka says that. Jam, your brother says, look how big we are, and 5-4 Timber. Yeah, Timber wins that. That's exactly, we spoke about it, lads, didn't we? We spoke about it from set pieces. We were completely we were well off it. Richard Todd says, evening lads, we had a championship team out today. Yeah, we did. We need reinforcements 100%. That has to reiterate it, doesn't it, to the 49ers? We got our pants pulled down and spanked by a very large cricket bat. multiple times. If you zonal mark and you get caught in your toes when you man mark, you're moving all the time. Zonal marking is shite. I agree with that as well. I hate zonal marking.
You can tell my brother's fuming because he's literally just like his keyboard, his phone on it, his keyboard on his phone is like catching on fire. I think you can just tell.
9 and 10 sign-ins and 3, yeah, 100% in the cup. Brian Shearer says, ouchie lads, that was tough in midfield, lacking a lot, no marking nor staying in formation. We were all over the place, no ideas going forward, nothing. Richard Todd says, biggest thing to come out of today is just 3 points. Exactly, Richard. It was just, I think for me, lads, that was the worst case scenario today that I didn't want to happen. If we had gone there and lost 1 or 2, and we put in a decent performance, we keep our head up, we walk out of the Emirates and leave London with our head held high. It's the goal difference, slapped 5-0, then boys are going to be hurting going back in the bus, and it's Newcastle at home next week, and you get no rest in this Premier League. We know the quality, and that's the worst case scenario today, Jam, isn't it? Getting slapped up by that.
Absolutely, but I will actually try and spin a bit of a positive now. I think.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, I have to find the positives in things because that's just the way I am. But I think we'll literally. Like you just said there, the lads will be hurting from tonight, but that's perfect now. Elland Road, Saturday, we go there and we come out fighting. The crowd will be right behind us because Leeds fans always are, as we know they are. But we need a reaction from that now. So I kind of hope, they can say all this in the media, they can say whatever they want. Oh, we're hurting as players, but go out there and show it on Saturday. Go out there and put a performance in and just go into tackles because it was chalk and cheese from Monday. I know we was never ever going to go there and dominate the ball, but. Again, it's just a lack of desire, and we seem to be second to the ball everywhere on the pitch tonight. It was just literally just like every little second balls and and the ref. Don't get me started on the ref. And listen, not taking anything away from Arsenal, but the ref, I don't know what he was doing. Sometimes some of the fouls, I think there was one on Nonto in the first half, and they go away and nearly score from it. And I'm there scratching my head thinking, is this really going on right now? But I don't know, lads. I don't know. Would you look to change it now against Newcastle? What would you change in there? Would you sort of stick with it?
I think it's definitely. I think you have to change. You wouldn't be going spending the money and getting the players in if you weren't going to. Especially from the wingers' perspective. Obviously we need fullbacks. You're talking, especially the midfield, potentially bring Longstaff in there. Look, it's a killer, obviously, with Ampadu being injured, but you said it before, Jam, and myself and Darren agree, one player doesn't more or less make up your team. And that is Ampadu, like being out. So I think it's simply down to now, going into Newcastle, it's giving the new boys a chance, Bial. I'm not going to say Bruno, but it's just it's quite frustrating, if I'm being honest. I think it's more at half time. I did think about it, but Darren's going to have to wind me up a little bit, but bringing it up is why it wasn't sorted out at half time. You're 2-0 away from home. You know they're going to want to come out and make more of an impact. And then, towards the end of the game, they start bringing youths on just to slap us that little bit further.
Yep.
To be honest, and that, I think that's what's frustrating. They're able to do it and bring youths on, but we can't do potentially first team players to come on and try and shake up the game a little bit. But then on the positive side is, I know it's no excuse, but the price of Arsenal squad compared to Leeds, that's more or less where I am. Is the bottom half of the league to the top half. There's a much gap, and there shouldn't be. But it's a game plan. I think Fark really, really got it wrong.
Wayne says here, Perry was supposed to be a commanding goalkeeper. Had that been missed today, we would have been hounded. Absolutely, yeah. And do you know what? I think Perry's performance today was well below par as well at times. It felt like Meslier was in there. He just didn't feel commanding at all to me. At all, Wayne. Very, very disappointing with Perry in the first two games. I do have to be honest with you. His footwork is really, really bad for the way that Fark wants to play. Yeah, I'm not really understanding why he was brought in if he can't play with his feet, or we need to change up what we're going to do, because we can't do that all season. We can't keep playing off the back with a keeper that can't play with his feet. I'm afraid Fark is not good enough for the Premier League level. Yeah, look, only time's going to tell. His history tells us that, but only time's going to tell. We'll have to see as the season goes on. It's not Christmas yet. Darlow starts against Newcastle. I doubt it. We seen him last year stick with Meslier through worse, a lot worse. So I would doubt it. But if it continues on, who knows? Rodon was poor today. Strike was better of the two of them. Yeah, I thought Rodon was a little bit of non-miss today, lads, for the big kind of stature lad that he is from set pieces, command and everything as well. I thought he was a little bit off it today. And yeah, it was mentioned there, maybe just rabbit and headlights for a lot of these lads today. That new keeper is shite too as well.
Dave's just on a warpath, isn't
he? Yeah, Dave's just not happy there. I think Dave was all, but that's my burner account. I'm just writing in here, lads, as we're going on. After Newcastle, we have 3 winnable games. 49ers could push the button on him and would give us the international break to start. No, they're not sacking him yet. I'm not even going down. They're not sacking him yet. No, wild thinking if you think Fark's going to get the bullet. So let's go behind, had a lie down, got the TV box out. We've been waiting for the result like this for a while. We're just not used to it, isn't that's what reality, that's what it is. Over the last 2 years, we're not used to losing games. We're not used to losing games this much in the Premier League. Previous, absolutely we were, but the last 2 years, this is why it hurts. We're not used to losing games of football as Leeds fans, and it's going to be the reality this season. It has to be better.
I'm going to jump in a little bit. Yeah, I completely get it. I do honestly. I'm more frustrated than anything, but let's just all take a bit of a step back and think. If we got 5-0 by Sunderland or Burnley, I'd be raging. I'd be like, right, something needs to change.
Yeah.
But let's really look at the facts. This Arsenal team are probably going to be up. After that performance, I think they could win the league this year, and that's probably a big shout from me. But they're pressing. They can get a few things right. They got Eze. Eze was sat in the stands today. I'm thinking 65 million just spent on one player. We just can't compete. So I understand we're frustrated, but for me, we just need to just calm it down a little bit, just because it's just, like I said, I know it's very reactionary. Look, football's the best sport in the world, but it's also the worst sport in the world. But I'm just very much like, look, let's just, in an hour or two, we'll probably be all okay. We'll just chill. But, there's no need to panic. It's only 2 games in, 36 left. I just thought I'd just chime in there, lads, because
nice.
I understand. I completely understand the comments. I'm not saying nobody's wrong. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Of course, yeah.
But that's just my stance on it.
That's what about when Leeds Bros, aren't we? Everyone balance opinions. Whether you're feeling a little bit sure, we'll talk to little bit of therapy going on here. Michael says Stack stopped running around in the second half altogether. Where were his fitness levels? I have to agree, lads, because I felt the exact same thing watching it towards the tail end of it. I just felt like his legs were gone. I just felt like his fitness levels weren't there. And again, Joe Fark and the team should really be knowing that, that he hadn't got the 90 minutes in him. But I think it was just poor all around. Wayne said should have made changes at halftime. Absolutely. I think that's the biggest kind of kick in the nuts for me as well, lads, is that when we go 2-0 down, then you're really up against it. And when I seen the same team coming out for the second half, I was shocked, lads. I really, really was. Because you need to be reactive there, don't you? That's not good enough, that first half. It really could have been more than 2. It was 2. And the changes should have been made then. So why Fark didn't do it, absolutely. It blew my mind 100%. Richard said, I know it's not just about the money, but they have just spent 70 million on one player. We've got 7 for players for that. Richard. I know. And I don't think there's any denying it. I don't think we're all sitting here, with the blinkers on saying, we should have went to bat Arsenal today. Like, I think it was more so the manner of the defeat, lads. The way that we got played, the way that we got bet. Very naive, very open. Played to Arsenal strengths, didn't play to our strengths. And look, it was always going to happen. It was always going to happen if we were going to go out with a game plan like that. We have not learned, like I said, last time in the Premier League, you players that have played in the league. Yeah. Jam's brother is back in again. He's definitely on the war part now, Jam.
Smoke coming off the keyboard. He's typing it that fast.
They're a £1 billion team compared to ours. 100%. Look, that's obviously is decided. But as I said, look, it's still football at the end of the day, lads. Still 11 players against 11 players. That they have the better quality. They cost more than all of our players. But it's just about to be hard to break down, be solid, don't play into our hands, don't do anything stupid like playing out from the back. And I just felt like we did. That's the most annoying thing for me. That's what I kind of take from the game. Only 2 matches, and we want to keep our dropped. Fark sacked. It's like last season all over again. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but I definitely think Perry needs to pull up his socks 100%. Helen, I don't think with his footwork, I don't think he's shown it, and I think Fark kind of needs to change now. I don't think we should be playing ball out from the back. I don't think we should be passing the ball back anywhere near him, and Fark to be sacked. No, absolutely not yet. Absolutely not yet. Let's see how it goes. PSF says, Fark out, his tactics work. Choi-like. I don't blame any of the players. I agree with you today. I don't really blame any of the players today because it was definitely Fark's setup. It was Fark's team selection, but I wouldn't say out yet. What's Sack and Fark going to do? We clearly knew that that we aren't going to be Arsenal. Exactly, lads. And we've brought in all the players that he wants, and we're still in the middle of the transfer window. They're going to try and give him all the tools. I can't see him going anywhere. I really can't, lads. It's madness, absolutely madness to say Fark is going to be sacked. Leeds on top says it'll be interesting to see where we are in the table at Christmas. Hopefully not the bottom 3. Yeah, it's always around Christmas in the Premier League, isn't it? It's always kind of telltale how your season is going to go. Players just didn't want it enough today and made our own mistakes. 100%. Yeah, a lot to do with the way we wanted to play as well, and the players didn't help either. We were never going to win today, but I expected 2-0. It just shows the utter class between the top and the bottom 6. Yeah, 100%. We knew the goal from class, lads. We didn't give ourselves a fighting chance at all today. The defending was embarrassing. Absolutely 100%. I agree with you there. Yeah. But every goal went Eze. Yeah, every time he scored, he kept going to Eze, lads, and he was doing my nothing. Okay, Fark there was getting out. Who comes in? Yeah, they'll all say Ange, and then if Nuno gets sacked from Forest, then they'll say get Nuno in. Look, I don't want to about that yet, lads. Look, we were always going to get, and we probably are going to get more like this in the Premier League this season. We probably are good. That was a free hit today. Newcastle at home next week. We have to be better. Arthur says, give Leeds United same money as Arsenal. We're top 5. We're buying those players. Yeah, it's all about money. 100%. Jam, you obviously spoke about a little bit there about like the 2 wingers coming in. Let's talk about our 2 wingers again today, because obviously your boy Dan James again today. I actually felt like he looked like he had a little bit of a better game, but it just wasn't working. There was a couple of times where we got the ball out to the right hand side to him. There was one time where he could have took on Calafiori. He decided not to, and decided to cut the ball back in. And for me, he just doesn't seem like the Dan James that was playing with full confidence is like what he did last season. Don't get me wrong, he had his moments, definitely much improved than what it was against Everton, but just a couple of times I was getting the vibe from Dan James that there was just a little bit of kind of reluctancy in his game, afraid to kind of take on his man, afraid to kind of take that chance. It probably goes for the whole team, but the way position, it's we need.
He's again, there's 2 games in, but he's got to be better, lads. He has to be better.
Yeah,
he has to be. He's got the pace to. Neville says a lot of rubbish, but he also does say quite a lot of sense sometimes. Is like get running Calafiori, you need to run at him.
Yeah,
You've got the pace to literally just burst past him. And this is the thing. Every time if he did it once and he got a corner from it, and it just goes to show that he could basically, if he wants to, he can turn. He can turn chance. We can get chances from these things. I don't know I don't think he's fully fit. He doesn't look fully fit to me. He doesn't look like he's. He looks like when he's running, he looks like he's got more to give. Because I think there was a corner in the first half where Stack. Was it Stack? Yeah, Stack went to put the ball over his head, and I think Madiaki put his arm around him.
Yeah.
And he would have been through on goal. But I think Dan James, now usually he would be back there and he'd be busting the gut to get in, but I don't know where he was. But disappointing, very disappointing. And to be honest, Nanto, he was isolated. He tried to do his best he could. I'm not gonna go at him tonight because he just wasn't. I don't know what he was expecting for him to do on his own. But I honestly think now. I think again another positive on it. I'd rather it happen tonight because there's a transfer window still open. So maybe the 49ers may look at this and think, okay, we need players. We need attacking players in those certain wing areas. Again, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but this is the Premier League. This is levels now. This is the Premier League, and Dan James sadly isn't doing it for me. And it's like a dagger to my heart when I say that, but it's just, he isn't doing it, lads. He's really not doing it. And, I suppose another question is, where do you think your priorities are, lads? Would you say wing back? Would you say, because we need strengthening? That's for sure.
I think if we can't defend with 5-0, I think a full-back position is definitely needed. With Byron coming on there and he done all right towards the end of the game, but 5-0 down. It's a bit too late, that kind of way. At times I thought Goodmunson was alright at times, and I thought he was, especially Saka, he was more or less ball watching. Saka getting behind and just wellied it. So, I think it's just be a bit more mature and a bit more sensible with your position, and definitely certainly your passes.
Yeah.
Probably fullbacks for me, if I'm being honest with you. I think we're going out to getting Noah Okafor.
We're out to getting slapped 5-0, but Arthur wants Bamford back in instead of Pirro. Look what Brian says here. Why did he play Pirro today? Look, I didn't understand that. I think we all knew as Leeds fans he was going to do it. A game like that today, it was screaming out for Mecha, a hold up type of player. And then if we were still in the game towards the end and you want to get a goal, then Pirro comes on. Then the home games, when you're going to have a little bit more of the ball, likes against Everton, fine, no problem at all. Today, I think he got it wrong. He got it wrong 100%. And I'd say he'll start again against Newcastle, but we'll have to see. Arsenal struggled to beat Scum 1-0, but Fark made us bend over and I'm trying through us. Fark out, he's scared and frightened and useless. Yeah, he got it wrong today. Absolutely no denying. He absolutely got it wrong, 100%. Felt Mechu was doing a better job than Pirro. Hope Okafor and Backaway can come in and some creativity with DCL in the final third. I think that's the feeling now, lads, because we obviously spoke a little bit about Dan James, and we know that he's been off and looked a little bit better today, but still not the Dan James. Willie Nanto as well for me, lads. For me, again, it's just his performance. Ever since he's been at Leeds United, it was up down. He is non-existent. But like you said, Jam, we need reinforcements in that wing position. We need a little bit of creativity because we just don't have it. And when we do have the ball, we just don't look like we're going to do anything with it.
And what I don't get, lads, is it looks like Ramazani's on his way. Right? Yeah. So on loan or I don't know, which I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. We could have, again today, he would have been a perfect player just to bring on, just to sort of relieve us of some pressure because he could beat one or two men, and then we're away. Then I don't know. That's probably another topic we could probably get into in a bit. Is the Ramazani thing because baffles me, if I'm being honest.
But this brings me back to the transfer window early in the summer. I was saying to Darren, it's it's a want more or less than a need. We need to get players in nice and early before pre-season to see where they stand. And me personally, through the whole summer, I thought Ramazani was going to be part of his plans. So now we're going back to the drawing board with 10 days left in the window. So it's not good enough, especially when you want someone that kind of star, sprinkle.
And he's had enough hands over his ears. Stop yelling at me.
That sprinkle of dust to come onto the wing to make an impact. And certainly, I think Ramazani has that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Nando was just smothered today. Yeah. Couldn't really get a chance at it. DJ, I actually thought he was alright. He was definitely better than what he was at Everton. There was one chance where he obviously hit it with his left foot, went in on his left and hit it, and it was deflected straight out for a corner. But there was another chance where he could have just drove at the defender. Potentially could have got a shot off, or even potentially if he was taken down for a penalty. it's simply about rotation, and we don't have that in the wingers at the minute.
No.
So if he's on about Ramazani leaving, it's a bit too late for me.
It feels a bit kind of counterproductive, lads, doesn't it? Because even with Ramazani, with James, with Nanto there, we needed another winger. So Okafor's after coming in, and now there's talks about Ramazani going out, and you're like, well, then we're going to need another winger then. And if it is going to be back away, well, I'm fine, fair enough, because I do probably think he'd be better suited to this Leeds team than Ramazani, and Fark's style of play than what Ramazani is, because I personally just don't think he picks Ramazani because he doesn't do the work going the other way. And we know with Fark, he likes his wingers to do the defending side of the games, and Ramazani just doesn't do it. No. Definitely going forward, definitely has the ability, but surely, Jam, like what you said, there's games that can suit him a little bit more when chasing the goal, i.e. against Everton, with a bit more of the ball, we're on the front foot. Surely they're the games to bring him on and say, right, we need to get a goal, and he didn't. We're bringing on Brendan Aronson, and we're bringing on Jack Harrison. So it's just...
Yeah. I mean, he frustrated me again today, Brendan Aronson. He comes on, he's got all the energy in the world, but there was one situation where it was just a little 5-yard pass to Stack, and he just puts it down the line, and the left back comes in and just got to be better than that. We have got to be better. I get it. He runs, but I could give my dog a crisp packet, and he could do that in the garden. It's just little things like that. You shouldn't laugh.
Record and send me a video, will you?
You've got to laugh because honestly. He's the most infuriating player ever for me, Aronson, because I just think, he's all the willing in the world, but sadly, it's ability-wise, I don't think doesn't cut it for me.
Solomon says, surely this is what 15 to 17 feels like. The more weeks than not. We weren't expecting to get a few of these, especially against the second best team for the last 2 or 3 years with our £8 million squad. Yeah, I think we kind of were expecting it all. Like, we're expecting a couple of days, but yeah, so early on, I wasn't, to be honest with you. Segundo says, evening lads, diabolical defending for all three. Can't blame Perry for any of this. I understand that Fark starting Perry in case chances fell to him, which Nemecha would miss, but got it wrong tactically. I think he did, lads. We spoke about it as well, that he got it wrong tactically, didn't we? 100% today. What are we saying is a minimum for the Newcastle off the back of this? I think at home
6-0.
I think at home, lads. Like, I think it's probably mad saying it, but I think at home, I think we need a win. I really do. You want to go out and be winning your home games, no matter who you're up against. Like, it's Elland Road, the team behind you, backs against the wall. What would you say, lads? I pass it over to you. I don't know if I'm probably have the blinkers on here, but I want to win. I want to win the game. You need to bounce back.
Yeah, I get
6-0.
Yeah, you are what Dillo said. That'd be nice. 6-0. Minimum results. I think, to be honest with you, if you offered me a draw right now, I'd snap your hand off. A draw. Again, but what I will say is, I'm not going to lose my head if we lose to Newcastle, because Newcastle also are a very good team, and on a day can hurt any team in the league. But yeah, I'd probably take a draw. I think we're more than capable of winning, but snap your hand off for a draw, 100%.
Yeah.
A draw. I would. I like a draw.
I just want to win at home. I want to win at home, lads. Yeah, that's my feeling. Go out and try and win it, and if not, get a draw. We need to be winning them home games if we're going to stay up this season. Michael Pollard says, overlaps at the very few opportunities we had, they were ignored. Dan James was a notable villain in that respect. Something that annoys me the most. Yeah, me too. When the overlaps is done, and especially when you're playing a fullback, because I've played it for years, you gallop forward past your winger, you're in acres of space, and so it's cut back in. So on the inside of his foot, and it drives me mad. Or so to play it inside to the midfielder, drives you nuts. Rajiv says, we have a cup game to get our confidence back, and I play Newcastle at home as well. I'm a bit worried. I ain't gonna lie, lads. I'm a bit worried about that game. Leeds and cup competitions against lower sides, everything that they're going through, going to Hillsborough. I am. I hope I'm wrong, Bill. I hope. I'm not
worried. I'm not really consumed by the cup at all. I think
there's going to be massive changes, lads. With you, I think there's probably going to be wholesale changes, and I think you're going to get 11 lads that haven't been used to playing together. Do you know what I mean? Going to a side that backs against the wall. We want to beat Leeds United. We know what Sheffield Wednesday think of Leeds United, so I think we'll probably see a totally different starting 11. And I don't know. Just there's something in me. I don't want to feel like that, but there's just something in me saying that I don't have a good feeling.
Wouldn't surprise me if we saw DCL in there, lads, for that game. Just to give him maybe some minutes. I'm not sure. Perhaps that's a bit of a call.
Yeah, I hope not, Jam. I hope not, because that would probably be the game where he goes and gets injured, wouldn't it, buddy? And then you're shooting yourself in the foot in a nothing kind of cup game. So, yeah, yeah, look, I can't even think about Tuesday night. Yes, we'll put it in the back of our heads for a minute. We'll try and dissect this one first, and swallow the hard pill. Sell Pirro and Grue for PSR. He's never going to do that, buddy. They're never ever going to do that. Maybe Grue before the end of the window. Pirro ain't gone anywhere. It's clear to anyone that Ramazani is not in his plans. Yeah, it was clear last year as well, Robbie, and I think we can all see that, lads. He's just not there. Like, he's just not in his plans. Honestly, lads, you need Solomon back. I know it's not possible, but badly needed. Yeah. What do you think, John? What do you think about that?
It's tough, really, because I don't know whether Okafor is a bit of a similar player in certain aspects, because I've seen him a few times. He picked the ball up and, he cut in on the right, and Solomon did a lot of that as well. I love Solomon. I'd have him as a squad, to come in. If he was offered to me, then I would get him back. But I don't know. I don't know if he just gets chewed up in the Premier League, if I'm being honest, just because he's quite small and diminutive, and I just don't think he's quick enough either. And again, I love him, but I'm just trying to be a bit realistic with it as well. But it's not a bad shout, but I don't really know where I am with that one. It's a tough one, really, to answer.
Just want the good times back, basically, I think, Brian. Yeah, bring it back when Solomon was cutting inside and whipping balls into the bottom corner against Oxford. I want them days back. I don't like these 5-0. I'll cry myself asleep now tonight. Michael says here, largely probably the most clinical long-range shooter in this squad. Silly to move on. I don't want him to move on, because I do like Ramazani. He's a high ceiling. PSF says I'm drunk on failure. Aren't we all, pal? Yeah. Armington was one of the best players on the pitch today. Do you think so? Weirdly, yeah, I suppose. Look, it's all subjective, Jam, isn't it? For me, personally, I thought Bogle was probably the best of a bad bunch today for me. Elaine Clark keeping positive, saying marching on together. We have to keep going. Don't need a second game in. We know what Armington is by now. Players do not change. He's never going to change. Never ever going to change. You're not just going to pick up quality out of nowhere. Need Bakawa in and start Okafor as our wings, DCL up top, somebody that holds up the ball. I don't disagree with you. I think give us a game screaming out for someone like DCL, obviously full fitness, someone like Nemechik can hold the ball up, be a little bit of a bully. Pirro's just not that. And I don't know why Fire keeps going with Pirro in these scenarios. Jam, do you?
That's the thing.
He's going to be up against them tough kind of defenders, essentially 4 centre backs today. It was always going to be tough for Pirro, and he just doesn't have that in him. He's just not that type of striker, and it's not his fault.
And the thing is, mate, that's the type of Gabriel and Saliba, 2 of the most probably physical centre backs in the league, and you're just giving him no hope there. If you have Mecha or DCL up top there, you can at least give him it. Honestly, Calvert-Lewin you'd love that today, because he loves a bit of the physical side, even though you may think he's not that type of player, but he really does thrive in the physical game. So I think that's 100%.
Dr. Cox as well, yeah. Shows that recruitment is rubbish, no experience in the Premier League, apart from DCL and Longstaff as well. It's just a chance you take, lads, isn't it? Look, you can unlock gems from across Europe with no Premier League experience, but at times it can go against you. So it's a tough lesson for them, lads, today. It's a really, really tough lesson. And look, I'm just hoping, I'm trying to be positive here, but I'm hoping that's a bit of a shining light, lads, isn't it? That, all them players going, right, we can't let that happen again. This is the reality check. We're in the Premier League now. You can't waltz around like what you did last season in the Championship. And look, let's be honest, against Everton as well, with a poor side in Everton as well. So, we need to be better. We won't beat Newcastle. Yeah, look, I can see. I just think at Elland Road needs to be a factor massively for Leeds United this season. Was under Bielsa. In that Championship season, every time any team came to Elland Road was raucous, and I'm just hoping it's like that. I hope we kind of make it a bear pit all the time. I reckon a draw at Newcastle, and we need Longstaff in. I think so. I think so against Newcastle. I think you're going to see Gruev in the away games, and you're going to see Longstaff in the home games now until Ampadu comes back. That would be my thinking. But again with Fark, you're not too sure. If anyone is listening to Fark's press conference, anything juicy that he does say, just pop it in the chat, lads. It's interesting to know what he says. Stop their front 3. We can get a result at home to Newcastle. I think so as well. Yeah, Michael says I take a draw.
Totally.
I would. Yeah.
Leeds on top says hopefully Brentford, Burnley, and Sunderland will be worse than us today. I actually had a funny when you mentioned Sunderland there today. So I was up in a local shopping centre today, and a lad walked by with a Sunderland jersey, and he completely, lads. He was like, I was like shit on a shoe. Like, he looked at me, turned around to his missus, and I heard him going, "Fucking Leeds." I was like, yes, I love it. Like, or we had to turn around, like whatever it is. But I was like, you have to give me the win there. I love that. Love to be hated.
They had a good result today, Sunderland, didn't they?
Yeah. Good start. And West Ham the other side as well, getting slapped up last night as well at home to Chelsea. So
West Ham were terrible last night.
Yeah.
Honestly,
they were poor.
Really
They were poor against Sunderland. They opened the day and they're poor yesterday. So it's interesting now what happens with Potter. He needs to get it together. And he says it's a must not lose at home. I think must not win for now, Danny, and then we kind of see where we go. I think now is at the moment when you haven't got anything to lose, the pressure's kind of off a little bit at the start of the season. You need to be aiming for the win in home games. You need to pick up points as much as you can before the season really, gets into the full swing. I'll take a draw too at the weekend. I hope we win it, lads, because I'm going over to the game, so I want to win it. So everyone stop saying a draw. I'm being positive here. Channel the positive energy, lads. We're gonna beat Newcastle. Arsenal was probably one of the best players to the pitch today alongside Nemecha. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I wore that today, literally manifesting Leeds to win. Yeah, it was never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. What was really disappointing is we never got a tackle in. That sort of felt like as well. It was actually a good point because there was definitely one moment in the game as well where I even thought when we did kind of get close enough to tackle them, lads, and you feel like we were like I don't use this word, like a bit of pussies in the tackle, like we didn't really want to get in, like the way we were against Everton. We seen Ampadu going in, we seen Stack going in, Tanaka was on it today. Just didn't really feel like we had that Leeds, but when we did get close to them, was more half kind of effort to try and nick the ball.
Do you know what that highlights to me as well, lads? Is Ampadu. We missed him massively today. Ampadu in the midfield, he would have just smashed someone. Yeah. And I think he's a leader in so many different ways. I think we look completely different with him in the team. We look like we just don't. There's no leadership in there. It goes back to that, but I really do think we missed him tonight. Personally, I just think he brings a bit of calmness in there and a bit of steel. That you just tell that even if he just absolutely smash someone, it gives us something to actually think, oh, fair play, we actually care about this game tonight. But yeah, one of them.
He's a general in there, and obviously Ampadu has divided opinion, about his quality over the last week. But we've seen as well at Christmas time last year when we're really struggling away from home through the season, he comes in with the back-to-backs against Derby and Stoke, and he was sensational. Like what you said, Jam, he brings more than just quality to this team, doesn't he? He is a leader. He is the leader in this team now as well. And today, I do feel like we miss his presence in there, miss his leadership in there. That's probably where we're getting at, Jam, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Karen says this one's on Fark. Need to learn for Newcastle, 100%. Short and sweet, and I think that's on the head, 100% right. Stephen Bourne says got it totally wrong today, Fark, but lessons will be learned from this big one. This big time. Never thought we would win, but thought we would compete more. And at home against Newcastle, I expect much better. 100%. Yeah, agree with that. Bial is needed in. I think we might see him come in, lads. I do. I think
I'd like to see him come in. Just rotation in the squad.
Yeah. Andrew says, yeah, that's my fear as well. Back of a sees this and go, I'm not going near there. Not going there. Starport now and Bial against Wednesday. Nah, he's not. Against Wednesday. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right there. I'm hoping we buy another striker, another winger, full back, hearing some scary ITK stuff that Phillips, and it's not just agent talk, praying it isn't true. It just doesn't make sense to me, lads. It doesn't make sense to me, another midfielder. Like, and I know it's Calvin Phillips, and if you take being a Leeds lad over, it doesn't make sense for Leeds United to bring Calvin Phillips back in. Hasn't played a lot over the last, 18 months, 2 seasons. Been poor since he left Leeds. Was only good under Bielsa. And we're stacked with midfield. Anyway, we need wingers, attackers, and fullbacks. So
I'll be getting a rash cream out again if Phillips comes back in.
Give us a land of it, will you?
Now, don't get me wrong. If he's signed in the announced and back home, I'm like on it and get Phillips on the back.
Exactly. Yeah, but again, I completely get that. Listen, I love Calvert. He's just not the same player, unfortunately, that he was. Bielsa got the best out of him, unfortunately.
PSF is completely switching. If you're only coming in, watch PSF's comments right at the start. It is he was losing his mind on Fark and everyone else. Now he's calm. It's mad what football does, lads, isn't it? It's mad. This is what we do these match reaction. I'll lose my head at the start tomorrow. Y'all seem to be calming down. We all met you at Longstaff have to start. I think so, buddy. What else have we got in here? Thibodeau, Jaden Anthony is rubbish, man. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Jaden Anthony, to be honest. Any other good comments that we have in here? This one here from Richard. We can't get a fee for any of our players. Loan, no money left. Look, I think we do have good opportunities though, lads, in the loan position. Like, I still do think we'll spend money, John. Don't get me wrong. I do think we'll go get a striker, but you can't get good loan signings as well. Look at Solomon last year, John, with them players that are on the fringes, eager to prove themselves. Loan players are good as well, Dillo, aren't they?
Yeah, I think loans, like you said it, Darren, a few weeks ago, like potentially, why are we solely consumed by, transfer news of players that are coming or not coming or potentially coming? Definitely, there's players across the Premier League, not just the Premier League, even the Serie A or the German
Fire
leagues. That
team.
looks, it looks like that's the route that we're going, but you can get like a little star quality there for a loan move. It's definitely an option. But look, it could be down to PSR as well. Players, they're looking to move players on. The likes of, you said at the start of the window.
I don't think so. Like, what we spent 90 million on 9 players and we were told 150.
Yeah, that's what we
You're
told.
still talking. We were told 150. That was everything that was coming out from the local journalists that Leeds will have 150 in the kitty. We spent 90, just about 90 on 9 players, which is good business. Good business, money wise. So you're talking still should be 60 million left in the kitty and 3 loans. So I wouldn't be saying PSR is holding us back at the minute, lads. Would you?
I don't think so. No, I think again, again, where was that when we were at Ramazani as well? I mean, that'll obviously help financially, whether he goes out on loan or whether. Let's not forget we got Bamford as well. I know he's probably one of the highest. He was last season, one of the highest paid players at the club. So I think that may ease financial. I think we'll see quite a lot happening there in the next 10, 11 days with outgoings. I know it's been very quiet, but I think we'll see a lot of movement out as well, personally. But just be interesting to see now how we.
But like if he's not bringing Ramazani on, or certain players that are definitely not getting even a shot of coming on for the last 10, 15, whatever it could be, is it potentially that they're looking at certain young players like Ramazani, even Gruev, even Stroke, I'm just calling out names here, to move on. And I'm not necessarily saying for PSR reasons, but to get, money in to reevaluate and get another player. That's the way I'm looking. I'm not saying solely on PSR that we need to sell players. I just can't understand that's a head scratcher for me, is Ramazani.
Yeah,
it really is a head scratch.
Yeah, look at what Russ says here as well. So Russ is putting in the comments from Farke's press conference. So cheers for that, Russ, pal. No Ramazani in the squad today. Fark says it's nothing against him, but Okafor has a defensive perk. It was not a decision against Largy, but one for Noah. It's the nail on the head, lads, isn't it? He doesn't rate Ramazani on the defensive side of it, and that's purely it, which is mental because he has the quality going forward. He's a winger. He's an attacking player. And to give out and punish an attacking player because he doesn't do the defending side of the game, for me, is mad, especially when you're chasing goals. Yeah, don't want to see him gone, but look, we'll keep a close eye on Ramazani towards the tail end of this window. AG says, "Hi guys, just on the train back from the Emirates. Fark terrible today. How can we select no outlet? 100% AG. Safe travels back, and I'm sure it's going to be a long travel back from you today. So fair play to him traveling down there, long old spin down to the Emirates. But I think again, nail on the head. No outlet, no trying to bring the team up every time Pero got the ball. It was flicking it around the corner. It just wasn't holding the play up to kind of bring us up and try and support him. So he's bang on with that, the lads, isn't it? With no outlet today.
That's it. It's big key. It just relieves pressure. When things are not going your way, it just relieves pressure. That's the simple thing of having Metro on there instead of, I'll reiterate, I love Pero, but certain games he isn't going to do anything because he's just not. You're lumping the ball up against two commanding centre backs against the Pero. Just get Metro and DCL on. Just get a present up there. Just relieve some pressure off us.
Horses for courses and all that jam, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Fark says DCL is close to making his debut, so it's coming. And I think after today, it's probably pushed him forward a little bit more. Arsenal players hit the deck when they touched them. Yeah, especially the penalty as well, lads. Look, I know we clipped them, but like for them, lads, it's just like, I hate the way it says any sort of contact in the box now. It's going to be a penalty. But in fairness, now he looks at that. The old man looks like a very, very good player for Arsenal. He held in his hand 15 years of age, so good player. Strike was frustrating today. Passed it to Perry more than anyone else on the pitch. Avoided trouble again. And time and time again, I agree. I agree, lads, 100%. I don't know why we kept going back. Last week he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant against Everton. Kept looking for that forward ball. Today it was everything just going back and going back. Not right. I still think their result would have been the same with Amps. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, Danny? Could have won 5-0. Hamperdale was in. We could have won 5-0. Let's go with that. Need Hamperdale back.
Sounds good.
I'm not arsed about losing Pascal as a captain after today's game. Hamperdale will do for me. Yeah, I think so. Are there any chance of made? I don't know. No. Gone. Ship has sailed. We have a new Ramazani in nets, or a new Melier in nets now, a Brazilian Melier in nets. Adam Underwood is not good enough to be director of football. we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens out with these signings over there. We'll be able to rate, I suppose, around Christmas time. We'll know where we are then, buddy. Is the Sheffield Wednesday game coming at a good time or a bad time? I am going to sit on that splintered fence because I do not know. I've just such a bad feeling about that Sheffield Wednesday game, lads. I hope I'm completely wrong and we go there, we turn them over, turn on, get our confidence back, but I just have a feeling like going away to them, everything that they're going through, and Leeds in cups against lower sides.
It's got 1-0. I think you said it. 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday. Written all over it.
1-0 all over it. Calvert-Lewin coming back in the last 10 minutes.
I'll say 4-0 to Leeds.
Good man, Dylan. Dylan's confident there now. Justin Wood says, feel like Leeds threw in the towel at 2-0. I think we did as well. And I think probably no changes at half time, lads. We spoke about it. The changes at half time felt like we threw in the towel because that just felt like, how do you expect this to change? There's like nothing going to change here. We can all see the obvious issues here. You need to change them at half time.
That's the thing. It's just so annoying just seeing the same team come out and you just think, and even if you just sub one player, you're thinking, oh, okay, he's trying to change things, but I don't know, just give it a bit of spark. Just need some, just that one player like Okafor coming on, maybe potentially at half time, just to give us a bit of an outlet as well on the left or the right. Just
within the first 5 minutes into the second half, I just said straight to myself that nothing's going to happen here at all. And I don't mean by that like just should have made a change at half time. Should have done something to get a spark going, get motivation going. You know, even with the away fans, kind of perk us up a little bit. And it was just dead in the water. Their press was just unbelievable, and we just couldn't get over it. And then like that, when we did get the ball, we were knocking it back to Perry or Stroke, and it was just closed down.
Michael says here, hello boys, absolutely atrocious today. Fark plays Gruev and doesn't include Ramazani in the squad. The guy is tactically inept. Get him out now, says Michael. Yeah, Michael, you need to be in here for another 20 minutes. By the end of this, you'll be saying Fark in. Smiley Dude Art says, I'm a gunner. Congratulations on your victory today, buddy. Fair play for popping into a Leeds chat and not giving us stick. Yeah. Still time. Way too early for that, Michael. Yeah, I agree. Is that way too early for that? Adrian Donny has a good point here as well. No point paying 45 million for Muniz if we can't get the ball up front as well. Yeah, I agree with that. Fark on Pirro over Nemecha. The workload of Joel Pirro, we decided to play him. Lucas, of course, is more physical. Yeah, he knows he made a mistake. Definitely knows he made a mistake, lads. Here, the teams we expected to beat will beat us. No confidence in Fark tactics. Always plays his favourites. Yeah. We need to be beating them teams around us 100%. Not angry, just disappointed. Like we don't shit on my carpet. Yeah, I've told you time and time again, and you keep doing it. Arteta on if LUFC can stay up. I think so. What I love that they're going to maintain that philosophy, and I'm sure they will be fine. Yeah, go away.
It's interesting. That's his thoughts, though. Now after they've just beat us 5-0,
yeah, they slapped us 5-0. He's hardly going to turn around and go, "Yeah, thoughts on Leeds stand up." Nah, they're going now, man. You see them there today? They got slapped. Yeah, he's always going to say that, isn't he? We need a 10. Stack is too slow on the ball. Goodmunson was our best player today. Yeah, I suppose Goodmunson wasn't bad as well. I just thought Bogle stood out a little bit more for me. But yeah, I will watch it back. Probably not tonight, but tomorrow I'll drag myself through it all again and get more thoughts on it. Swap Potter for Fark. No way, not at the minute.
Well, Harry Potter or Graham Potter?
Yeah, not magic. Yeah. Emmett says, remember our fight isn't against the likes of Arsenal, it's against the likes of Sunderland, Burnley, West Ham, Brentford, Wolves, and maybe Wolves. All Leeds aren't we believe. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you as well. It's not about the loss, and lads. I think if we lost 1 or 2-0, he was here and going, that was a decent performance. You know, we kind of take encouragement, even though we do lose the game. It's the manner of the defeat, 5-0, slapped, didn't play well, didn't defend well, all over the place. We don't have any creativity in this squad. Very worrying. It is, Michael. We've been saying it for weeks. We've been saying it all over pre-season. We said it against AC Milan. We said it against Everton. We're saying it again as well. We need quality going forward. We just don't have it at the minute. These were particularly poor on set pieces. Very static, which is suicide against glorified Stoke City. We spoke about it, Jan, didn't we? Like that's the set pieces was just.
They're very good on the set pieces, and that's one of their strengths. You know, they might not be playing the most. So I thought the first 30 minutes, we looked, we was right, okay, we're containing them a little bit.
Yeah.
But then they get a set piece corner and you think, okay, there's that set piece that they're good at.
And they're very good at. We pop it up going, that's the best, scored like 21 goals or something from set pieces over the last 2 years. So, as soon as that comes up, I was like, here we go. Yeah, so this is happening there. Then mentioned Leeds being poor at defending set pieces. So you're like, right, we all
lads, thanks very much. 1-0. Bang.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Cox. Dillo's getting hammered tonight. Well, do you know what? I might have a few points against myself as well tonight and go through the dreaded match of the day and watch it all over again. Drown my sorrows. Not that. Big few days, I feel, in terms of incomings, it has to be, says Mark. I think so as well. Has to be bigger. Alan Johnson says, if we had went for it, worst case scenario, we wouldn't have lost 5-0. So what is the point in that? Yeah, I think that's fair, lads, isn't it? Segundo says, something which is worrying is that the 49ers and Fark were targeting set pieces at something that we will get better at defending and attacking, and we've been rubbish at them both in both games. Yeah, that is a worry because we were bringing in 6 foot plus, and yeah. Line from kickoff was shocking, absolutely. Right, lads, look, I think we'll leave it there because we could go on and give out. But Jan, will come across to you. Any final words?
No, just again, thanks for having me on, lads. Just a bit of therapy after that little 5-0 loss. But again, I'm not going to. Let's just be positive now. Like I said at the start of the stream, our season's not defined by that one game. It was disappointing. I hate losing, but literally we go again now. And listen, 36 games left. We'll see a lot of activity now in the transfer market, and let's just keep believing. Because, like I said, you don't just turn up one game against Everton, and when we lose tonight, hope's not all lost. But we need to respond better now, and I think they will respond better now against Newcastle on Saturday. But yeah, pleasure speaking with you boys, and that's it from me.
Legend.
Colin's not over, yeah. Dillo, what about you? Any final words?
Yeah, look, I look depressed down my head. It is what it is. But take the positive from it. Like, we go into the cup game now on Tuesday. I think it came at a great time, if I'm being honest with you. I think it'll give Fark the rotation that we were all looking for. Get the win. I think if we play well, it'll just give the lads a bit of a confidence boost going into Newcastle on Saturday. But yeah, something needs to change. He needs to more or less have a plan B. Didn't have it last season either. Look, I'll be positive. I'm trying to be anyway.
Yeah, you sound like it. Right, lads, look, we leave it there. Thanks very much for everyone popping in. Obviously, look, a bit of a reality check for Leeds United. Hopefully this gives them the kick up the hole that we all know that they need. Please, before you leave, don't forget, drop a like on the video, and of course, hit subscribe to the channel, guys. It would be greatly appreciated. We'll chat you all again soon. Mind yourselves, mind each other, stay off social media. Don't text them back, just turn the phone off. Chat you all again soon.